So this is an update for day 26 of my 90 days journey with God. I was reading through the Psalms and also just considering the life of King David, and two very important things came to my mind as I was reading through the Psalms and just overall considering the life of King David. And they relate to building intimacy with God, or just things that are really important when it comes to you building intimacy with God, growing closer to God, or growing in the knowledge of the Lord. And I just thought I'd share them so that it can be something that I look back on even as I implement this. Now, there are two things, like I said, so I'm going to divide them into two. So one is going to be for day 26 and then the other will be for day 27. The first one that I want to touch on is authenticity. Right, when it comes to really growing closer to God and building intimacy, getting to know Him more, it is important that you are authentic. So you come to God just as you are, right? We have had so many people model Christianity to us, model what a relationship with God looks like, but even though you can look at those people and be inspired by them, God still wants you to be you when you come to Him. He still wants you to be yourself when you come to Him, because that is the vision that He created, right? He doesn't want to have another pastor so and so, another prophet so and so. No, He wants joy. Joy needs to come raw as joy. Joy needs to come as authentic as joy. The joy that God created is the one that He wants to fellowship with. It's the one that He wants to be known by. All right, it's not another pastor so and so. And I realized this even with King David, when he was going to fight against Goliath. King Saul wanted to put on him something that was not authentic to him. All right, there was a kind of way that King David lived, or maybe I should just say David at that time. There was a certain way that he lived. There was a certain way that he trained himself to be, right? And that was the version of David that had to show up at that battlefield, not the one that was influenced by King so and so. And no, he had to appear as authentic as possible. And so when we read that story, King Saul brings his armor to David and says, put this on, for your protection and everything else. And David actually puts it on. He puts it on, and then he realized it tries to move, it tries to do that, but it's like, nah, this ain't my style. This is not David at all. What I know is the stone and the slingshot. And so I gotta show up as that. That is what I'm going to show up as, not this things that I'm busy carrying around. Oh my God, it's about to rain. It's about to rain. So I was so inspired. I'm like, this man could have taken this armor. We don't know the result. I don't think that he would have come out as victorious as he did. But because he showed up authentically. He showed up as authentic as he possibly could. I mean, and remember, even that authenticity defied the odds. I mean, I can just imagine people looking at him like, this guy, stones, slingshot, where does he think he's going? Where does he think he's going? Like, really? That's even what Goliath was saying. Like, am I a dog? Am I a dog? What do you take me for? But I realized that same authenticity that he brought into the battlefield was the very same one that he approached God with. David never tried to be somebody else. He was always David. He showed up as David. And I think that is one of the things that contribute to God saying, this is a man after my own heart. I realize, I see him for who he is. I see his heart. It's him. It's him. Is not trying to be anybody else. Now, I've seen also, with people, you can't replicate somebody else's journey. It might look as beautiful, as glamorous, as inspiring as you would want yours to be, but you cannot replicate that. You cannot replicate that. You need to be as authentic as possible. You'll hear somebody saying, whatever so and so said, amen. You know, it usually happens when people maybe are seeing a beautiful relationship. Somebody just got proposed, or somebody just got married, or maybe they're following their love story and they're like, oh Lord, whatever sister so and so said, amen, that is my prayer. But it shouldn't be like that. What she prayed was authentic to her, and that's why she's living in that answered prayer. You don't get to copy and paste the prayer and say amen. No, I know maybe it's a joke, but I think if somebody gave you the template, I think some of these people, if they were given the template or they were given the prayer to say this is the prayer, they would actually pray that prayer. Even though we say, no, we're just joking. I mean, it's not that deep. But really, you find your path. You find your own way to go in. You find who you really are. What has God created you to be? And you walk in that. You walk in that authenticity. You approach the Lord in that manner. That this is the one that you've created. This is the one that you have made. And I am coming to you as that. You know, when I approach you, it is joy. You know, I don't need to pray like my favorite pastor. Okay, I don't need to pray like my favorite influencer. I don't need to have quiet time like my favorite Christian influencer. I don't have to. No. Authenticity. It is important. That is what I learned, and it's just something I thought I should share for my day 26 of my 90 days journey with God. Going forward also, this is what I'm implementing. You know, some of the things you implement without really just being intentional. So I wouldn't say that I've really tried to be somebody else or whatever, but I am now walking this path with more consciousness of this. I'm more conscious of, I always need to show up as me. I always need to show up as joy. Even my journey, it needs to be authentic to me. You know, I shouldn't try to make it look like somebody else, or I shouldn't even desire for it to look like somebody else's. So yeah, that's pretty much it for day 26 of my 90 days journey with God. I hope this will help somebody who watches it for my diary entry. Until my next video for day 27, which I think I should just do right now because these things are related. So yeah, I'll see you pretty soon. Goodbye.